Most job seekers are searching LinkedIn in the wrong way. They type a job title into a search bar, hit enter, and then scroll endlessly through hundreds of irrelevant job posts. But smart job seekers don't search like this. They don't waste time scrolling. They use a smarter method, which is typically used by top headhunters trying to find the best talent. And today, I'm going to show you how you can use the same technique faster and how to reverse engineer recruiter searches to ensure that they are finding you first too. But make sure you stick around to the end, because as a former recruiter turned career coach, I'll show you why being more specific in your job search actually increases your chances of getting found first, not reduces them. You see, a lot of job seekers make the mistake of thinking, I'm not having any luck with my niche, so I'm going to remove XYZ from my profile and apply more broadly. And I'll tell you why that's the worst strategy and what you can do instead. But for now, let's get into it. Now, if you've ever felt like job searching is a never-ending scroll fest, I get it. But in reality, it's probably down to two things. One, how you've been searching, or two, what you've been including in your profile, or a combination of both. You see, finding better jobs isn't about luck, it's about searching smarter. And today I'm going to walk you through something called Boolean Search. Now, I spent years using Boolean Search as a recruiter, and it helped me pinpoint the best candidates in seconds. But today I'm going to show you how to flip this style of searching upside down and find the best roles without wasting time. And by the end of the video, you'll have a step-by-step guide with real examples so you can start using it today. All right, so let's start with one of the biggest job search frustrations, getting job recommendations that have nothing to do with what you actually want. Now, I had a client recently, she's a sales director and she wanted to find a new role in tech based in San Francisco. But there was a problem. She kept seeing jobs in retail, finance, and completely random industries. It was like she'd told the job board, find me a sales director job in tech, and the system went, sure, here's one at a supermarket. So we fixed that with Boolean Search. So in speech marks, we put the job title, then put the word and in capitals, then in brackets and speech marks, we put industry type 1 or industry type 2, close brackets, and then finally and in capitals and the location in speech marks. And instantly her search results became way more relevant. Now let's break this down so you can understand exactly why it works. Okay, so understanding and or and how they work together in Boolean Search. Now first let's talk about and. Think of the and instruction like a tight filter. It forces your search results to meet all the conditions you set. So when we type sales director and San Francisco, we're telling the system only show me jobs that include both the sales director and San Francisco. It's not either or, it's both. And if a job doesn't mention one of those, it won't show up. Now let's talk about or. So think of or as a way to expand your search. Now it allows you to get results that match either option. So in Sarah's case, we used tech or software. Now that means find jobs in either tech or software. And if it's in one of those industries, show it to me. Now without or, we'd have to do two separate searches, one for tech and another one for software. But by grouping them together with or, we find both in one search. So putting this together, sales director, the job must be a sales director in the title, and San Francisco, the job must be in San Francisco, and tech or software, the company must be in either tech or software. Now in simple terms, this Boolean Search is saying only show me sales director roles, but they must be in San Francisco and they must be either in tech or software. And that's why her search results instantly improved. No more irrelevant industries, no more wasted time. Now you might be wondering why there are quotation marks around San Francisco and sales director. Well, it's these quotation marks that keep words together as an exact phrase. So when we write sales director inside quotation marks, it tells the system only show results that show these two words exactly and in order. Without quotation marks, the search engine might return saying with sales or director separately, like sales associate or marketing director or sales rep director of operations. And that's why she was getting such a mismatch of results before we got things in check. But by putting sales director in quotation marks, we're saying only show results where sales and director appear together as a phrase, nothing else. And the same goes for San Francisco. If we didn't use speech or quotation marks, the system might return any job in San Diego, San Jose, or even just Francisco, somewhere in the description. So quotation marks make sure we get only the exact phrase we're searching for. Now here's an important piece that a lot of people miss, and that's the brackets. Did you notice how in my client search we wrote tech or software, but it was in brackets? Now the brackets group words together so the search engine reads them as one logical unit. And let me explain why this is important. So think of brackets in Boolean search like brackets in maths. Now if I say 5 plus open brackets 2 times 3 close brackets, you know that we multiply first because of the brackets, right? Now without the brackets, the equation would be different. And it's the same in Boolean search. If we just wrote the search like sales director and tech or software and San Francisco, it might read the or incorrectly, and instead of looking for a sales director jobs in either tech or software, it could give us any sales director job even outside of tech, or any software job, even if it's not a sales director. But when we put tech and software inside of brackets, we're telling the system, first decide if the job is in tech or software, and then make sure it also includes sales director and San Francisco. So the brackets act like a highlighter for the search engine, making sure it groups the right pieces of information together. So look, these are just a few of the basics, but before we get into some examples of how you can use Boolean search to streamline your job search even further, I'll quickly reference the not function. Now, not is what you use when you keep seeing jobs that you don't want, things that are clogging up your search results and making it harder to find the roles that you're actually fit for. For example, let's say we ran our search and everything looked good, but we kept getting contract positions when we only wanted full-time jobs. Now, this is where not comes in. So at the end of our search, we would need to add not contract. Now this tells the search engine, show me all the relevant jobs, but remove anything that contains the word contract. Now let's say our original search was sales director and San Francisco and tech or software. Now if we're seeing too many contract roles, we can refine it by adding sales director and San Francisco and tech or software, not contract. Now this would keep sales director roles in San Francisco, in tech or software, but removes anything that mentions contract. And just like that, your results are cleaned up. Now, before you start throwing not everywhere, here's a little warning. If you're too aggressive with not, you could accidentally block good opportunities. All right, so now that we've covered the building blocks of Boolean search, let's see how we can actually use it to make your job search 10 times faster and more effective. These next examples are going to show you how to get hyper specific, how to filter out distractions, and how to find opportunities that most job seekers completely miss. I'll walk you through each one step by step so you can apply it to your own job search right away. Okay, so example number 1, searching for multiple job titles at once. So let's say you're open to multiple job titles. Maybe you're a product manager, but you'd also consider a program manager or a project manager role. Now, instead of running 3 separate searches, you can combine them into one using or. So product manager or program manager or project manager and Seattle. Now the use of the or command expands your search to include any of these jobs while adding and Seattle, make sure the job is based in Seattle. So instead of wasting time searching one by one, you get all three results in a single search. Now in my next example, let's talk about finding remote jobs while avoiding entry-level roles. So you would use this if you're looking for a remote job, but you're sick of scrolling past internships and junior roles. So in this case, try something like this. So open brackets, then data analyst in speech marks, and in capitals, remote in speech marks, and then close brackets, then not in capitals, open brackets, internship in speech marks, or in capitals, junior in speech marks, and then close brackets. So as you can see on the screen here. Now with this search, the use of and remote ensures every job is remote, while adding not, internship, or junior removes entry-level positions. So now you'd only be seeing remote data analyst roles that fit your experience level. All right, so moving on to example number 3, finding companies that are hiring right now. Now, one of the biggest frustrations in job search is outdated job posts. So if you've ever applied for a job only to find out the company isn't actually hiring anymore, well, this search helps you find companies that are actively looking for talent. So put hiring in speech marks, and then in capitals, then open brackets, cybersecurity in speech marks, or in capitals, network security in speech marks, then close brackets, then right, and in capitals, open brackets, put remote in speech marks, or in capitals, and then hybrid, and then close brackets, like the example on the screen here. Now in this instance, we're hiring, or hiring picks up posts where companies are actively recruiting. Cybersecurity or network security makes sure it's in your specific industry, and remote or hybrid filters it for flexible work options. So now instead of scrolling through stale job listings, you're seeing companies that are currently hiring. Got it? Okay, on to example number 4. So example number 4, finding recruiters in your industry. Now recruiters can be a huge help in your job search, but only if you're reaching out to the right ones. So here's a Boolean search that will help you find recruiters in your specific industry. So as with the previous search, open brackets, put recruiter in speech marks, or in capitals, talent acquisition in speech marks, then close brackets, and in capitals, finance in speech marks, or in capitals, and then investment banking in speech marks, close brackets. Again, example is on the screen. Now in this case, recruiter or talent acquisition finds people with either of these titles, while finance or investment banking ensures they specialize in your industry. Now this means you're only connecting with recruiters who actually work with people like you. No more wasting time on recruiters who can't help. Now of course, you all know my preferred method is to avoid recruiters and focus on hiring managers. But that said, as long as you're not relying on recruiters to have a list of jobs available, they can be good to build relationships with. Now moving on, example number 5, finding hiring managers at specific companies. Now this is when you don't want to wait for a recruiter to notice you, and instead you go directly to the person making the hiring decision. So let's say you're an engineer and you want to work at Tesla. So you could use this search. So in this example, hiring or team lead targets the people who are making hiring decisions, and Tesla ensures it's specific to that company. Then and engineering filters it down to the right department. Okay, so once done, now you can reach out to the actual decision makers instead of waiting for recruiters to find you. And this is a game changer. Now, another great way of using Boolean search is for networking. So example number 6, finding networking events in your industry, because we all know that jobs don't always come from applications. They often come from conversations. And if you want to network with the right people, a great way to do this is through industry events. So here's how you search for them. So in this example, we'll say you're a marketing professional. So in the search bar, again, you type the below. So digital marketing or SEO, make sure it's relevant to your field. Conference or webinar or networking event filters it to events where you can meet people. And lastly, the not paid part removes results that are just advertisements. Now with this, you're not just job searching, you're actively expanding your network. And that's where a lot of the hidden opportunities come from. So look, as you can see, there are a lot of ways you can use Boolean Search. It's pretty powerful and you can tweak it to find exactly what you need without wasting hours scrolling. But remember, I promised at the start of this video that I'd show you why being more specific actually increases your chances of getting found first, not reduces it. And this is something most job seekers completely misunderstand. A lot of job seekers panic when they're not getting responses. They think, I'm not hearing back. Maybe I should remove some of my experience from my profile. Maybe I should stop listing my niche skills and just apply to anything I could do. Or maybe I should remove Salesforce or master's degree from my LinkedIn because it's limiting my options. But being specific is what makes recruiters find you first. So let me show you exactly how recruiters search, because when you understand this, you can reverse engineer their strategy to position yourself as a top applicant for almost any role. Okay, so as a former recruiter and agency owner, I can tell you that when recruiters are trying to fill roles, they are looking for the perfect candidate. Now, they don't start broad, they start extremely specific and then work backwards. So if we use the example of my client mentioned earlier and say a recruiter is searching for a sales director in the tech industry based in San Francisco with a master's degree, experience using Salesforce and a proven track record of success of hitting quota, here's what they might type on the system or in the search. So as you'll see on screen, sales director in speech marks and in capitals, open brackets, tech, or in capitals, software, close brackets, and San Francisco in speech marks and in capitals, master's degree in brackets and in capitals, Salesforce in speech marks and in capitals, President's Club in speech marks. Now, if your LinkedIn profile has all of these things, guess what? You're appearing at the very top of their search results because their search will only show candidates who match every condition. And believe me, there wouldn't be too many people fitting all of the criteria, particularly if the recruiter was smart and used the President's Club term, because by pure default, not many people would qualify. But let's scale this search back step by step. So if they removed President's Club and you had that in your profile, you'd still show up. If they remove Salesforce, you're still appearing. And if they remove master's degree, you're still in the results. Now, if they broaden the location from San Francisco to California, you're still visible. You are always showing up in the most relevant searches. And the reality is, the more focused you are, the more favorably a recruiter will look at your profile. And this is what most job seekers get wrong. They think being broad will help them get more opportunities, but actually it just dilutes their profile to recruiters. Recruiters don't start with a vague open-ended search. They start with a very specific search and then scale it back as needed. So if you list your niche skills and experiences on LinkedIn, you're the first person they find. And even when they broaden their search later, you're still there. So instead of hiding your expertise or trying to showcase yourself as a jack of all trades, double down on what you're best at. Certainly until you've built such a bank of experience, naturally there's a shift from a specialist to a generalist. And that's the real secret to how you get found faster and land a job that actually fits your skills. The more you match the requirements, the more chance you have of securing the role. All right, now it's your turn. Let me know what Boolean search you're going to try. And if you enjoyed this video and want my Boolean search toolkit for free, just comment the word Boolean below and I'll send you the link. I'll see you soon.